streaming now. Take a quick drink while Twitch gets set up. Hooray! It's actually doing it. So, hello everyone, this is Chris Ingerson, and it is February 2nd. Man, already the second month of the year. And this is the February 2nd TextQuest Devstream. So today, we are going to be working on a lot of the woods layout functionality. Now, we already have sort of a rough layout functionality working. You've seen it with the graveyard, you've seen it with sort of the entrance to the woods level itself. However, today we're going to be focusing on a couple of things. Mostly we're going to be focusing on level warping, or level wrapping, more specifically. So we'll be doing stuff like setting up our warp zones to actually warp us back and forth across the map, so that I can, for example, walk off the edge of a map and continue to seamlessly loop. This is interesting. I don't know why that did that. Oh, curious. We actually might spend a fair amount of time on today's stream messing around with our woods layout view. It looks like the window isn't quite functioning properly. And a lot of this, if we play right now, it's going to look a little odd because a while back I messed with the enum for the, or to determine what sections spawned. Right, they're all going to be null, aren't they? Because they haven't got those. Let me fix this real quick. Angle left. T right. I think that might be enough to fix it. We'll find out. There we are. So things are going to look a little wonky. But that's just because the enum is a little messed up there. But today we're going to be focusing on seamless wrapping. Because right now, if I walk off, I just kind of walk off. Nothing really happens there. So we're going to set that stuff up, and we're going to also, once we have that working, at least working semi-well, we're going to start working on spawning and despawning sections as you move. So if I play, this is a 5x5 section, so this is just a very basic sort of slice of the woods level, just the entrance. If I pause this, let's go ahead and look up. We're also going to change how trees work, because that's been on my to-do list for a while, so that's going to be fun. We can see that we have this grid pattern, and if I actually select things, you can see that everything's kind of laid out in these sections with colliders around them that signify the warp areas. We're going to set it up so that as you move along, areas that are not within 3 chunks of you will despawn, because those areas are not really that important, now are they? You can only see about 2.5 sections away with the fog, so you can see right now I can just barely make out the tree frame, or the tree wall over here, way off in the distance. And that is, so I'm in the middle here, so that's 1, 2.5. So 2.5 radius, which I'm just going to bump up to 3 to be safe, and we should be able to get some nice performance out of that, because that means we won't be spawning in the entire level all at once. We'll actually only be spawning in the areas within 3 units of you. Okay, so let's go ahead and stop this, and clear that, and let's go ahead and start editing our woods layout window. All right. We're also going to fix a couple of bugs with the functionality for the window. Primarily, we are going to change it so, let's see, corner, top, corner, where's my corner? Right there, top right. And this should be corner, bottom left. Top left, bottom right, I think that's right. And this one I think is going to be corner, top right. Alright, so now if we played while Visual Studio is getting everything set up, our path should look correct. Yep, that looks right. Although funny enough, I think I actually did end up changing this so that I wouldn't have an angle, because angles are going to suck when doing level warps. In any case, go ahead and stop playing. And let's take a look at our script. This is all old stuff left over that I can close. We're not doing anything with these today. And here we are. Woods layout window. Okay. So let's see. Get window. I'm actually going to do something like this, which is going to be woods layout window equals this. Oh, really? Seriously? Wait. Oh, right. Okay, let's go ahead and get rid of that. We're going to say window.show. That's fine. And I also think I'm going to say, I don't think I can override show, which is rather annoying. Nope. Why? I wonder if I can. I wonder if I can do public void show. Will that hide it? Yep, I guess so. Boo. I was hoping I can override that functionality, but it doesn't seem like it's going to want to cooperate. So that means I need to do. Yeah, I'm going to have to do that. Add a function for resetting this, basically. Draw section, draw active section, draw wrap info. Okay. So I'm going to put it up here at the top. We're just going to say public void reset window. And this is going to set our scroll pose to new vector 2 0f 0f. And it will also set our active section index to new vector 2 -1 -1f. And the reason for this is because there has been a few times where I will open the Woods layout window after closing it, and there will already be one section checked off, and it seems to be a random one. Particularly, it's noticeable if I'm going between scenes to do sort of small tests. So if I have like 2 here checked off, when I go to another scene and open this up, the Woods layout window will still have 2 checked off, even though it really shouldn't. It should be set to nothing. So this is just a nice little workaround for that. And let's see. So we're going to say window dot reset window. And I probably should actually put that before show. Let's hope that that doesn't cause any weird order issues. Okay. Let that compile. And just so that I'm not... Just to make sure that everything's working correctly, I'm going to set that to none, and yep, good. So we still have our transparency that shows up if things aren't assigned. It's very convenient. I would like to come up with some way of rendering like what the path is going to look like roughly, but I honestly don't know if it's worth any investment in doing that. If I can't find an easy, quick way to do that, it's probably way more time and effort than is necessary. Especially since this tool is largely going to be used only for the Woods layout and not much else. Okay, so so we have our window that opens up. We're resetting it whenever we do. Next, we're going to want to fix our initialization problem. So there's this weird problem where if I change this to 6 by 6 and hit reinitialize, you'll notice that it doesn't do anything, and in fact it just resets everything. It just causes everything to snap back to its what the size was already determined on the Woods layout object, and I don't quite know why that's the case, but one, I am going to reload this scene so that I don't have to set that stuff up again. Let's see, Woods layout, there we go. And two, it looks like a lot of what's going on in the Woods layout doesn't actually cause the scene to be marked as dirty, which is odd. I thought I had that behavior working, but We will see. Okay, so we're going to do a couple of things. Let's see here. So, I'm going to actually add a couple of functionality, or a little bit of functionality too. I'm going to add a few buttons that will basically let me shift everything over by one, or shift everything over by, well, it'll probably be one. So I can shift things over to the right by one, over to the left, top, and bottom. And that's just so that if I ever need to slightly increase the size of my layout, I can just shift everything over instead of having to recreate the entire grid and then manually go through and populate all of that information. That would be very, very tedious. Okay, so let's see. Draw horizontal line. Here we are. Cache manager hash size equals. Okay, so. Oh, that's not actually doing anything. That's why. I don't think so. Cache manager reinitialize cache elements. Okay, that's probably not what we want it to do. Real quick, I'm going to add the buttons, just because that's the easiest thing to do visually. So we have a horizontal line. We're not going to worry about that for now. It's actually going to be above this. So we're going to say editor GUI layout dot begin horizontal. Editor GUI layout dot end horizontal. Oops. I'm going to say if GUI layout. Oh, come on. Layout dot button. And we'll do new GUI content. This is going to be shift left. We're going to copy and paste this 4 times. Shift right. Actually, I guess this would be right, down, and up. Okay, so if we let that compile, we should see 4 buttons show up here. So now we can have, obviously not going to do anything right now, but we can easily shift things over in a couple of directions if we need to in the future. Let's see here. How do we want to handle the size issue? There's probably a couple of things that we need to do here. Cache elements, blah, 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 cache size, reinitialize, go to definition, let's drag that over here. Okay. Oh, right, I was doing prep work for this, and I never got around to actually finishing it. Hooray. I'm also going to do vector 2, new size. And let's do cache manager dot cache size. I don't know if this is going to quite work how I was hoping. Yeah, could end up. Well, actually, no, that should work. Okay. All right. Let's find where all that's being referenced. Good, it's only being referenced there. Initialize. Where are you being used? Okay, it's being used there. So I'm going to actually pass a size here. New size. New size. even... Well, no, I guess I do. Elements.add new woods layout connection. Yeah, so this is just erasing everything and starting over from scratch. Let's come up here. And I'm actually going to change this so I can sort of remain isolated from the cache manager until I need to. So instead of directly altering the cache manager.cache size here, I'm going to actually have my own private vector2 field here in the layout window. So we're going to say private vector2, and we're going to call this cached size, I guess, equals vector2 0f. Okay. So also going to have a bool here, and we're going to say private bool initialized equals false, and we're going to set initialized equals false here, and then we're going to say if not initialized equals true, cached size equals cached manager dot size, because I'm actually curious if cache size is even being used anywhere in the script. Nope, it's being used all in the woods layout window, so it makes more sense to have that value there. Okay, so let's come back here, and we're just going to change a lot of this to say cache size. So that, and then down here we're just going to say if cache manager.size does not equal cache size, then we will pass cache size. Okay. Let's see if cache manager elements is equal to null equals 0. I suppose we would want to do this. Okay, so looking pretty good so far. We're also going to actually want to make sure that our vector2 is always above a value greater than 0, or is always above 0, because you can't have a size of -1, -1, for example. So let's see here. We're going to say if cache size dot x is less than 0f, cache size dot x equals 0. I suppose I should actually make it if it's less than 1 even. Just because, well, no, it's fine for now. And then we're going to do the same thing for y. Screw it, we'll make it 1. Because we don't want a size smaller than 1. So let's do y. I wonder if I could also make it... No, it's only a layout option. I could probably change this to be ints, because they shouldn't be floats, really. You can't have a 1.5 tile. You only have 1 or 2. So, this is going to be fun then. Let's see. We're going to change this to 1, 1, 1, and 1. And then we're going to say cache size dot x. Well, actually, let's go ahead and comment this out for now. Okay, cache size dot x is equal to editor GUI layout dot vector2. No, sorry, no, int field. And actually, let's go ahead and say delayed int field. I've not really had a chance to use these, and the delayed int field is something I've been wanting to use for a while. Basically, the difference between an int field and a delayed int field is that a delayed int field will not actually do anything until you've finished typing in it. So until you hit enter or until you click out of it. And the main benefit of that is, say, if you're resizing an array, if you have a regular int field and you have 13 elements, if you type 12, it will, well, if you go to type 12, you'll obviously have to hit 1 first. And if you don't have a delayed int field, it'll automatically apply the 1 right away. And then when you hit the second, or the 2 key, it'll become 12, but then you'll have 12 elements of the first element. So a delayed int field lets you type everything first before it actually does the function that you need it to do. Okay, so int value is going to be, oh, and yeah, this is also going to be fun. We're going to want to say editor GUI utility dot label width is equal to, I'm going to say 50f, and then editor GUI utility dot label width is equal to 0f, because I'm going to try to do sort of a similar style to vector2 field. So let's see here. We're going to say new GUI content, and then int value, so cached size dot x. Okay. Why do you not like that? Okay. Hit x there. And I guess what we'll do is we'll do float. Oh, that probably won't work. Oh, I'm sorry, int. I don't know why I was... Okay. So that should work. I'm curious to see how this will render. And before we do that, let's go ahead and say editor GUI layout dot label field. And we're just going to say size. I guess we'll be nice and do a GUI. So new GUI content. I like to use GUI contents whenever I can, mostly because it lets me do things like tooltips if I ever need them. So I can say size of the layout grid. Okay, and let's go ahead and do the same thing here for Y, and I think we're going to want to do editor GUI layout dot begin horizontal and editor GUI layout dot end horizontal. Okay, Y, Y, and Y. Okay, let's see what that looks like. Once it compiles, hopefully it doesn't break everything. And there we go. That would be what it looks like. Let's go ahead and change this so it's 25. I do not think it needs to be 50. So we should see these snap a little bit closer. And there we are. And I can hover over size if I want. Oh, wow. It is... That tooltip is way out there. That's interesting. Also curious why I can't scrub that, but I'm guessing that's because it's a delayed input field. So I can do, you can see it, that the change does not happen right away. As soon as I type, I have to hit enter. Ooh. Okay, that's interesting. Clicking off doesn't actually deselect. So just to show you what the difference is, let's make this an int field. And you'll be able to see the difference right away. I'm guessing an int field will actually let me drag it, so I can scrub the value, which would be interesting. Yeah, so apparently delayed int fields don't let you scrub. So you can see that I can sort of change that. Let's change you to 5. So again, you can see that it's instant. As soon as I type 6, it says the grid size has changed. And maybe that's actually what we want for this. Probably have some other use for a delayed int field later on. But if I go to Y and I type 6, again, nothing happens until I actually hit enter, at which point it'll say that the grid size has changed. So I'm going to try selecting something else. It also looks like, okay, a delayed field will reset its value. So if I make this 45 and I click off of it, it'll reset to what it was. Huh. That's actually kind of nice. Yeah, I'll keep them as delayed ones. That's fine. All right. And I'm also going to do public void mark scene dirty editor GUI utility dot. I think I can say nope. Okay, it's not that. Is it editor utility? Editor utility dot mark raw. Okay, not quite what we want. Let's go ahead and say. I think I have to use the scene manager stuff, don't I? Yep. So let's do editor scene manager dot. What is it? Dirty mark scene dirty. Editor scene manager dot get active scene. There we are. How can the name be simplified? That's super weird. All right. And the main reason we want to do that is so that whenever we edit something on the layout window and have it affect the woods layout object, we need to make sure that we tell the scene that something has changed, and we need you to have an asterisk up at the top. So if we accidentally try to close or reload the scene, it'll say you've made changes. Do you want to save? And that's just because, even though I'm obviously infallible, I need to make sure that I don't do something stupid. So let's see here. So we're going to say if cache manager does not equal the size, then we will say, oh, okay, that's not what I wanted to do. Mark scene dirty. Okay, so what do we want to do next? Probably should tackle the initialization problem, and then get shifting to work maybe. Because that's more of a sort of curiosity than anything else, but it's still cool to know. So right now, initializing doesn't seem to work, as we have established. Although I am curious actually now if it will. And to fully set things up, I am going to force it to mark the scene as dirty. There we go. Let's see. So let's set this to 6 by 6. Can I tab? Cool, I can tab. Okay. So let's reinitialize. And we're at 5 by 5 again. At least it does let me mark the scene as dirty. But that's kind of annoying. I guess that wouldn't have changed yet because I haven't actually done anything. So don't save. Okay, good. Still got everything. Let's see, where are you being used? Haha, nowhere. I can get rid of you. Okay. Let's see, get preview mesh. That's the woods layout object. Don't need to worry about that. Yeah, here we are. Initialize. So we're going to set size is equal to new size. And that should hopefully work. Where else are you being used? Right, okay, good. Let's see, where's my size? Yep, that's good. Okay. So let's try that again. I'm curious. It's probably still going to erase everything, but now it might actually force it to update at least. Oh, and this is interesting. My woods layout kept the values that I set in there, which I guess makes sense. The window persists outside of the scene. So, okay, well, let's go ahead and try 6 by 6. And then try reinitializing, and ooh, yes! Okay. And 7 by 7. Boom! Why does it look like it's moving up though. 6 by 6. Oh, it's just because of the reinitialize function doing that. Duh. Okay. We're gonna reload this, not save again. Let's set this to 5 by 5. And next we want to try and basically reload this data. So if we increase the size, we'll basically just have empty ones added to the borders, or to the extra areas added on, instead of wiping the entire thing and starting from scratch. And let's go ahead and space it out just a little bit. Okay. So what's layout here and down here. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and get rid of that debug. I don't think we need it anymore. So we don't want to set our elements to be this new list right away. Instead, we probably should do something like do I even need to reinitialize like this? I don't think I do. I think I can actually change this. Doesn't make sense to send its own elements back to it since it knows what those elements are. And I guess we'll make a new list here. So we're going to say list new elements. Oh, no, it's going to be a list of what's layout collection, which will be called new elements. New list here. Go ahead and comment you out for now. Okay. And let's see here. This is doing all of our size stuff. I'm going to change this to, let's see, where are elements being used? And I guess we'll go ahead and do this. Is cache size even being used? No. Okay, so I can get rid of cache size entirely, which is nice. I always like getting rid of... Why was it even? Okay, sure, why not? And then down here at the bottom, we're just going to say, well, how do we want to do this? I guess this is going to be weird. I'm going to do a second for loop that's basically going to go through and assign old values to new elements. Or maybe I should just do that in the... Alright, let's try this. Let's see, elements.add new woods layout element. So I don't actually want to do that here. Instead, I believe I want to say if elements of I dot elements of j does not equal null. No. Well, no. Yeah, Okay, hold on. Let me redo this actually. So we're going to say if I is less than elements dot count minus 1, and elements of I dot elements dot count minus 1, so, and j is less than that. I guess I should say less than or equal to. Then I can say else new could say dot elements dot add elements of I dot elements of j. I think that's the logic we want. And then we're basically just going to say elements equals new elements. And that should hopefully reinitialize everything properly. I hope. Elements, yeah, that stuff should work. Let's see. I'm kind of skeptical that I'll be able to get that on the first run through. I really do hate using nested for loops, especially when I have to drill down into lists of lists using those nested for loops as iterators. I don't particularly care for that. Okay, so let's clear U. And we're going to say 6 by 6 reinitialize. Ooh, that's what I was hoping it would look like. Path angle left, top left, bottom right. Oh right, these were wrong before, so that's why they're wrong now. That's actually looking good. Okay. Well, then let's go ahead and let's reload the scene one more time. And you're going to see what I'm talking about, by the way. So I'm going to select 4.0 up here. And when I reload the scene, let's see. Don't save. 4x is, or 4.0 is still selected, which is, I guess, again, expected because the Woods Layout Manager actually persists. However, if I had done something like selected a vector 2 that is not in this map, it would probably throw a reference exception, or rather a index out of range exception. So probably should come up with a way of doing that. I wonder if I can detect scenes loading. I bet you I could. Well, in any case. For now, we actually need to change it so that anytime we adjust one of these parameters, it's actually going to force the scene to be marked as dirty. That way we can constantly save things. Hello. Why are you debugging all the time? Let's go ahead and get rid of you. Boof. There we go. And scroll view, space. Okay. So we're going to drag all of this stuff. What's my key here? Draw section. So we're going to. This is all. Set bool key. Key is equal to layout. Get bool value. What is value? Oh, right, this is being used to toggle everything. Is that particularly necessary? Probably not. But I think I was doing that to persist, in case I reloaded the window. Well, in any case, I'm not going to worry about that right now. Instead, let's see. We're going to do draw active section. This is where the interesting bit is. Element, if element is equal to null. Please select an element to see more information. So that's if we don't have anything selected. It's just going to say please select an element. I'm also going to go ahead and resize these things so it's not going to constantly annoy me. Okay, so we select it, and now, see, we are doing that. We're doing begin change check, which should have a little, yeah, but it's not. So if I change this to Graveyard Graves, which was completely accidental, it really should be something else. It's not marking our scene dirty, which is odd. But why? That's kind of annoying. I really hope it's not editor GUI only thing. So I can't use editor GUI layout. That would be quite frustrating. Hmm. Yeah, aside from caching everything, which is not something I really want to do, I'm not sure what I can do here if begin change check won't work. Maybe I did something stupid, like stuck it inside something else. Nope. Doesn't seem like it, although I can get rid of all this commented code now. So I have two spaces at the bottom here for no apparent reason. I guess it's because I was trying to set up the preview stuff, but that's so weird. Do I have multiple ones? No. It's just not wanting to do anything, huh? What if I move this all the way up here? I'm actually curious if there's something in my header drawings, or my custom editor utility draw header, that's causing an issue there. So I'm going to try changing this now. Shazam! It's going to compile. Anytime soon. There it is. Okay, so now, if I change this to path Z, yep, that time it did it, and actually saved it. So, why are you still debugging, or did I just not clear you? Yeah, I just didn't clear you, okay. So we change it to path X. Okay. Well, let's see. I'm going to come down here and do mark scene dirty. No need to have duplicate code. So I guess I need to sort of save that for literally everything. Let me try doing it within the header to see if that works. Okay, we'll let that compile. I guess we'll do it for the other areas too. Change check. So yeah, it probably had something to do with my custom header drawing. Super weird. I didn't think I was doing anything in there, but might be that it might actually have its own control check there. That might be nullifying something. Anyway, so I'm going to change this to oh wait, this is no longer valid. Here, let me change this to corner bottom left. Save that. And let's change our top two trees. Hooray! Fence. None. I don't think doing undo would actually do anything because I'm not registering anything. I'll have to live with my choices. Yeah, the whole Unity register undo system is really, really terrible and quite frustrating to work with. So let's just test this real quick. So let's do like left. Fence long. Hooray! It works. Okay. And now for the ultimate test. Oh, is there a little bit of a hiccup there? No, maybe not. Okay. Let's see, this is going to be top right. This is going to be corner top right. And there's going to be corner angle, or path angle left, and path T right. Okay, so let's go ahead and save that. And now I'm going to play it. Make sure that everything looks right. Everything does, which is good. And then let's go ahead and just reload the woods layout. Hooray! Everything is correct. So reloading the level still has everything persist. Sweet. So now let's get to work on our shifting functionality. And this one is going to suck. It's going to suck real bad. But we'll try to come up with a good way to do this. So let's go ahead and say public void shift elements vector to direction. Okay. We're going to come all the way up here. Where are you? Okay. So we're just going to say cached manager dot shift elements new vector 2 0f 1f. I'm just going to cut and paste this a couple of times. Negative. Delete that. 0f 0 and 1. This should actually be negative 1. Okay. And for this to function, we're going to have a really, really weird form of initialize that we do. Oh dear. God, how do I even want to do this? Because the goal for this is, so if I change this to be, come on, you can compile. I know you can. I've seen you do it. 6 by 6, and then we reinitialize it. I'm actually going to check this. Haha! It is perfect. Flawless. So now we have this sort of new edge that's all empty, but what if I really wanted to add stuff to the top left? As it is right now, I would have to manually go through here and reassign all of these values for every single thing. So, at that point, it might as well just be like making the grid from scratch again. But if it's possible, I would be able to, it'd be nice to be able to just tell it shift over to the right by 1, shift down by 1, shift left by 1, etc., etc. So this is mostly a convenience thing. So if I start adding in padding, for example, just to make the forest a little bit larger or to hide some of the warping effects, then I'll be able to do that and shift everything all at once. Now, of course, it's going to suck because obviously I can't, for example, shift sections of it. I have to shift everything. Not ideal, obviously, but what are you going to do? So, let's see here. I actually wonder if I could. You know what? I bet I could. We'll look at that later. For now, let's get our actual shift elements going. Okay. Oh boy. This is going to be so weird. Okay. So I think I want to copy this and paste it here. And we're not quite done yet. I guess the end one is going to be still need the elements equals new elements. Get rid of you. Get rid of you. Okay. So I'm basically going to take everything's position and move it left or right, or up or down. So, hey. God, this is going to be so weird. Okay, say if I plus direction dot y, then j plus direction dot x plus direction y. Yeah, I know. Da, da, da. Oh, and actually, no, that's not correct. We're not even doing that there. We're doing it here. I plus int direction dot y plus int cast direction dot x. Okay. Oh boy. This is going to be interesting. And then I suppose after any of that, we're going to call mark scene dirty. And okay. So I will be amazed if it's just that simple. I could not believe that. Surely it's got to be more complicated. So now if I hit shift right, basically the filled in area should shift one right, and then we should get a semi-transparent or row column on the left. Okay, let's go ahead and save. Moment of truth. That did not go the way I was expecting. I was a little worried that was going to happen. So if I shift left, it should go the other way. Oh no, we got an argument out of range exception. Let's see, shift elements, line 130. Right there. Oh, maybe I actually need these to be X and Y again. So the actual correct way. We will see. Okay, I am going to refresh the level. Okay, let's refresh. Don't save. I'm gonna uncheck everything. Okay. So let's do shift left. Dang it. Shift right. Yarr. Really? So I was right. It's Y. Index. But why are you freaking out? Something weird is going on here. Oh man, I probably also need to do this. Oh man, no, that's... There's no good way to do this, is there? I might need to do it backwards. Otherwise things might override themselves, but that makes no sense. Let's see here. So if I shift right now, things, I mean, they shift in the wrong direction, but I guess that's technically still shifting correctly. Make sure that I'm not stupid. Let's say shift up, should go up by one, shift down by one. Shift left, shift right. That should be right. I might need to actually reverse those, but... and just to check everything, so we're looking at X, this should be T, empty, angle. Okay, so I mean, the right shift seems to work properly. I'm going to try shifting up too. Shifting up works properly. angle left, T, X, X, Z, Z, and all empties. Okay, so up and right, technically, well, up works perfectly, right works in reverse, and left, and I'm guessing down will not work. Yeah, down and left don't work. Hooray! So I'm going to shift these backwards then. So this is 1, and this should be negative 1. Okay. This is interesting. We're getting somewhere with the tool. I am going to reload the scene again. Don't save. Okay, so just as a quick test, left, up, those all work. Don't save. Okay. So let's go to Woods Layout. So for clicking right and down, which don't work, we're passing, let's look at right first, which will be -1, 0. And that means that we are going to be looking at elements of I plus 0 dot elements of j plus -1, which, oh, I bet I know what it is. I bet it's trying to get j, which is 0, minus 1, which would be -1, so elements of -1, which obviously, again, can't be a thing. So we're going to say if elements of I plus direction dot y. Oh wait, no, that's back. It's really dumb. If I plus direction dot y, and we're gonna cast that to an int, obviously, int is less than 0, or j plus int direction dot x is less than 0. There's we're just going to do add new elements here. Else, okay, and we'll make these new lines. Okay, so hopefully that'll actually fix the error. And just to make sure, bottom left, angle, T, Z. Man, yes, it's working. Nice. Okay, doing well so far. I realize that it hasn't been a lot of gameplay, which I am sorry for. But it does mean that we have some nice layout functionality, which will make adding things a lot easier. Okay, so let's go ahead and save. I'm just super glad that everything's working so nicely. Let's see here. So I think, well, okay, let's go ahead and, let's resize this to be like 8 by 8. Or better yet, let's make it fairly large, 10 by 10. Reinitialize. Actually, you know what? I'm going to change this to 6 by 6 real quick. Reinitialize. Did we get any errors? We got 3. That actually might be from the old stuff. I'm really hoping that it is. Aha, good. Although just to test it, I am going to redo that. No errors, and 6 by 6. No errors, good. Okay. So I am going to shift things to the right and down, and then I'm actually going to set this to 10 by 10. Reinitialize. So even if it's not at the top left or the top right. Haha. Good. Good, 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 good. Okay, so let's shift things right. Shift right. Down and that's fine. And for this, we're not going to do world wrapping right now. Instead, we are going to, actually, we're not going to do anything. Don't save. I'm going to change this to 5 by 5. Reinitialize. Okay. And then we're going to save. I'm going to go ahead and make a new level for this just because I want to be able to mess around in it. I'm going to go ahead and turn off this debug. And I'm going to call this, what do I want to call it? It's not wrapping, it's like culling, I guess. Okay. So we're going to test streaming parts of the level in. So spawning sections as you get close to them and despawning them as you move away from them. So that way you don't constantly have all of this, these sections that you can't visibly see taxing your CPU. So let's go ahead and shift this to 10 by 10. Let's hit reinitialize. Let's actually, you know what? Let's make it 9 by 9. Initialize. Shift it down. Shift it down. Shift it right. Shift it right. Okay. Let's go ahead. And we're gonna do. I don't really have anything here, do I? Okay. We're just gonna do a lot of empties. Empty. 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 And I guess while we're here, we'll go ahead and assign the trees. Empty with trees up top. Empty with trees up top. Trees on the right. Trees. Trees. Oops. Trees. 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 Nope, and trees on the left. Empty. Trees on the left. Empty, and this is going to take a while. I do wish that I had a faster way of populating these things. I could try to do something like multi-select. And that would probably help. I wonder if I could do like a right click to. Well, I mean there is a reason that I didn't do that, I guess, because it would kind of be chaos to try and do that. But I mean, it certainly would be much faster than. I wonder if I could come up with a way of doing that. Let's see. So empty left. Because I could have it set up so that if I select more than one, it basically just sort of shows out dotted lines for the ID or for the different values. You know, similar to what would be expected normally if you tried to select something that had to multi-select something. I'm also, I think, going to stop with the trees here. I'm just going to set everything to be empty. Much faster that way. This is only a test case after all. And the reason I'm making it so large is so that it's very obvious that chunks are not spawning in, and so that we can get a clearer idea of when exactly chunks do and do not spawn in. So empty. Okay. At least working our way in, it's a little smaller. Not nearly as many. And the main thing is, like I said, we're going to be shooting for about a area of 3 by 3 around you. Come on. So that means anything, basically, if we look at our center, which would be about here, anything inside of this 5x5 grid would basically be visible. And in fact, actually, it's going to have to be larger than that. It's going to have to be this, is that 7? Yep, 7x7 grid, which is not small. That's 70 meters squared, which is fairly large. Um, just a little bit. Although I could, oh man, if I was crazy, I could try it. I could try to basically despawn the ones behind you. Although I don't know if that would actually matter. It's not like they would have anything going on. They would be camera cold anyway, so I might not have to do anything for that then. Now the main reason that was this stuff not saving? Oh no, it was. Okay, good. Okay, so I'm going to play. We're going to see what happens. Okay, so we have 8x8. Let's look at our stats. We're looking at 120-ish frames. Close to 100 batches. Set pass calls is 42, which is good. Oh, hello. Why? Oh, right, I forgot. These are, yeah, I should probably fix that. Okay, let's go ahead and see. I think we want you. Yes, so I'm going to set these to none. None. And that's good. Save that. Okay. So, as it is currently, I'm going to select our hero so you can see it. You can see where I'm camera culling over here. As well as just where my guy is running around. Now, if I'm right here in the center, I can't really see, I can't see the end of that path, for example. Let's see. And right about there I could. So, like I said, about 2.5 is the distance we want, which, for safety reasons, is increased to 3. So that means that, let's go ahead and pause. Pretty much anything about here, so I can cut off this entire bottom one here, if I were just to disable this. I can't see that. Whereas if I were to disable this one, it's very hard to tell. If you look at it right about here, you can see a very, very slight color change. I'm actually not sure if you'll be able to see it on the stream or not, because it is incredibly tiny and subtle. But it is noticeable. It's the sort of thing you would expect from like a PS2 game that's trying to hide its pop-in. A more obvious example would be turning this path off. There, you can see that that chunk is obviously missing. And we obviously don't want things popping in. So to basically fix that, I'm going to try... Well, I mean, do I need to really cull this much stuff? Let me think. The main reason I wanted to do that was to avoid having this initial sort of hiccup when you start playing the level for having everything spawn in. Now, right now we have a 9x9 grid, which is basically one section, but we have 5 sections. Yeah, 5. 5 sections. And they're all going to be, roughly this size, if not larger. This is actually one of the smaller ones, I think. I think the largest ones are like 15 by 15-ish. So spawning in 5, let's average it out to what, 12? So 5 12 by 12 chunks is not going to be cheap, because that's what, 12 squared chunks per section plus roughly 3 trees per chunk which evaluates out to something ludicrous for how many polygons are just going to be suddenly spawned. And it makes no sense to spawn all of those if you can't even see them, or if you're nowhere even near them. So basically what it's going to do is it's going to slowly populate as you travel the forest and then despawn behind you. That's the idea. That's what I would like to do. So let's see here. We need to come up with a way that basically allows the layout manager to track where the player is and say, okay, or actually what will probably happen is the layout manager will keep track of when the player enters each one of these chunks, because we have these colliders on them, these triggers, and it's going to say, oh, the player has entered this chunk, which means that I can despawn these chunks that are active, and I can spawn in these chunks that are not active. So let's see here. Let's go to our layout. And spawn sections. Am I even using these anymore? I don't think I am. I can get rid of those. That's nice. Just left that in. So spawn sections. Let's find all references. Okay. So this is our spawn sections. Oh yeah, and something else I want to do real quick. Uh-oh. Oh, oh, it did not like me doing that. That's interesting. There we go. God, it just tanks the frame rate so much. Gotta figure out what to do about that. I'm actually wondering if it's because it's drawing them multiple times per frame. But I don't know. Let's see. Get rid of that. Okay. So let's come back here. So these are our spawn sections. And before we actually do anything with the section, I would like to add a listener to them. So, down here at the very bottom. And before I forget, let's go ahead and say, let's go to our definition over here. Because I'm probably going to need to set up some events here. And we're going to say public void sorry, public delegate void section event. That's probably fine. And then we're going to say public event section event on player enter equals delegate. Oh god, I gotta sneeze. But it doesn't want to do it. Vector 2, we're going to call this index. I'm just going to peek some of these, make sure that I'm not. Peek. Really, I don't have any events that are being done there. That's kind of weird. Okay. On trigger exit. Let's do protected override. Really? I guess I don't ever do on trigger enter. Don't do it here, definitely. And I don't do it in wrap zone. Bounds. Position from offset, normalized offset. On trigger exit. Huh, nope. Okay, well that makes this super easy. Let's see. I suppose we'll do this. I think I probably should. So down here, I'm going to do private void on trigger enter. And we'll just say collider call. And then do my usual if call. I guess it's. Do I not have a safety check for that? I guess it wouldn't matter, would it? Well, no, that's not entirely true. It probably should be checked. So if call.tag equals, I'm just going to quick and dirty say player. And no one knows, just a second. All right. Sorry, didn't want you to hear that. So let's see. So if the player enters the trigger, we're going to fire off on player enter. And do I already have an index? Nope, I don't. I thought I did. I have an ID. Well, I guess we could just do public vector2 layout index get set layout index. Okay, and because I like to specify things, let's do private vector2 layout index equals new vector2 0. We'll do -1 f, and it'll be get return layout index set layout index equals value. All right, so we're going to say section dot layout index equals new vector2. Actually, let's just do this. Vector2 layout index equals this. Then here and here. Okay. And then we will say, this is going to be really weird. So that's one section. I'm going to say private void on player enter zone vector index. Say section dot on player enter plus equals on player enter zone. I can just do that. And I'm also going to have a quick public void reset section, and we're just going to say on player enter equals delegate, clear out its listeners. Actually, no, I don't need to do that. That's dumb with me. I can just do that in the woods layout now, can't I? Okay. This is going to be interesting. So on player enter zone, I'm going to actually add a. Okay. Let's see here. Size. Let's go ahead and say public int visible area equals 3. That's just a wonderful name. Tooltip. I really should tooltip more of my stuff. We're going to say area around player that is visible. I think that's probably fine for now. Sections outside this area will be despawned. Okay, so coming back down here, we're also going to have, I think, here that I don't really know if I want to do that or not. I need some way of determining if a area or if a section is active, but I can't exactly make it a public pool. Mostly because, well, if it's not active, it'll be disabled. So it's kind of bad to try and get variables from a disabled object. Well, I guess I won't worry about that for now. I'll come up with a different way of tracking that. Let's see. Player enters zone. And let's see. God, this is gonna be super weird. Let me think. How do I want to structure? How do I want to phrase this? Actually, I guess I'll have to do another a nested for loop. So shift elements. I guess it's gonna be here, kind of. Down here. We're not really doing any of this. Okay. So here we're gonna say if God, how did I even do this? I'm pretty sure I gave them all unique vector 2 keys. Yep, I did. Okay, so we're going to retrieve them by vector 2 and then, man, basically set them to be active or not active based on the player's position. Okay. So okay, what did I call them? Sections. It's not spawn sections, is it? No. What the heck? What did I even call it? I called it wood sections. I am assigning to this, right? Yes, good. If wood sections of, I think it's Y. Oh no, it's IJ. Okay. New to I J. Wow, that's just not at all correct. So we're going to change that. We're going to say if I if index dot y minus visible area. Yes, I know. Int. Why are you mad? Oh, right. So if the index minus visible area is less than I, and or God, this is super weird. Plus visible area is greater than, I suppose I should probably say equal to as well. And we're going to do the same thing for x. Okay, I think I got this. Okay, let's see. So x J, X, and J. Okay, so if it's both of those things, if it's either greater than the index y minus visible area, or less than index so and so and so, blah 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 blah. Basically, if it's within the area, then we will spawn it in. I think. And I guess else if wood sections of geez, I'm just gonna do vector 2. Seriously, vector 2. I can't call it index. Wood index equals new vector 2 I j wood index. I guess actually I should say if wood sections dot contains key. Seriously, wood index. Wood index. There we go. Why do you not like that? Oh, right. It's a parenthesis, not a square bracket. So if it contains that key, then we're going to say all the despawning stuff. Despawn. And if it doesn't, then we're going to say kind of the opposite here. We're just going to say if it doesn't contain it, then we will spawn it in. If not, contains wood index, then spawn. Okay. Let me see. So I think I'm going to break some of this functionality out. We're going to have private void spawn section vector 2 index. Okay. And this is basically going to be all of this. Crap. I guess we'll just say return. Okay. And this is going to be index.y. Yes, I know. Int index.j. Okay. Ah, crap. Seriously? Eh. Gotta love it when I do stuff like that. So actually I kinda need position data, don't I? Hooray! Of course I do, because I can just, okay. Let's spawn in a position here. That's gonna be a vector 3. Yep, vector 3. Vector 3. Why can't I spell vector tonight? Vector 3. Position. Is that everything else that's needed here? Yes, pretty much. Good. Same thing down here. But oh, actually, I don't even need to do that. I can just call it index. Hooray. Index. Hello, the Jamaica. Welcome to the stream. Oh, and you know what? Actually, I can just straight up change this to say index. Can't I? Index and index. Boom. Currently, we are working on a layout tool for one of the levels that I'm working on. Once I get the last of the bugs crushed in here, which will take like a couple of minutes, I'll be able to show it to you. Let's see here. I have a bug somewhere in here. Or not a bug, but an error. Got a squiggle. I can't see it. Where are you, squiggle? Well, in any case, I guess we're going to say spawn section, and then we're going to say new vector 2, I, j, and position. Okay, that's going to spawn everything. Seriously, what the heck is going on here? Why are you red? I don't see anything. Weird. Alright, well then we'll let it compile, I guess. See what happens. Play the dangerous game. Engine vector 2 does not... hold on. Oh, that was me being dumb. X. There we are. That's why it was so hard to spot. It was a one-character squiggle. Okay, so it's not quite done yet. I gotta quickly add a despawn behavior. So we're gonna say private void despawn, and then a vector 2 index. Okay. So we're gonna say spawn section wood index. Oh crap. Ah, of course. So, yep. How wonderful. Hey, fine. I guess we'll just keep doing this then. Let's see. Position X. Let's move this in here. Put you there. Move you down to here. Things are going to freak out for a second while I fix this. Let's do index of Y. Index of X. And we're basically just going to say vector 3 position equals new. Oh, come on. Vector 3. And then we get to do this. Size times X. 0F. And section size, blah, 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 all this stuff. Alright. Boom. Get rid of this. Okay. And then just do that. Oops. There we are. Okay, we're almost done. Now we just got to despawn it. So we're going to say despawn, and then wood index. I'm really going to be quite impressed if this manages to work on the first go. Despawn section. Okay. Let's see here. Fortunately, this one is kind of easier. I'm going to do quick and dirty real quick because we're going to have to despawn the walls too later, but I'm not worried about that right now. And let's see here. We are just going to say, let's grab this. So we don't need this. Although I do need to actually retrieve my section. Let's see. So we're going to say wood section. Okay. What actually are you? You are a wood, yeah, wood section. Why didn't you show up? Wood section. Section equals wood sections of index. Alright, so we're going to get rid of our event listener. And wood sections index. Let's see. So we're actually going to remove this. Dot remove index. And we will also spawn section dot remove. Yeah, okay, good. So we're going to remove all of those, and then we are going to say Pool manager dot recycle section dot game object. Okay. Now it's not 100% perfect. In fact, I'm sure we'll probably get quite a bit of odd spawning behavior, but we should at least be able to walk around and have things hopefully spawn and despawn as we do things. And one quick look at the wood section, make sure everything's doing what it should be doing. All right, let's give it a shot. I'm terrified and hopeful and excited. And it's gonna crash. Okay, so yeah, nothing's happening. Well, that's a bummer. It's kind of a big bummer actually. I'm a little sad that that's happening. Um, well, this is disappointing. I was rather hopeful. Well, in any case, the Joe Mega. This is part of the game. Currently, we're working on a forest level. That's going to have a lot of sort of seamless wrapping, so that you don't realize you're walking around in the same area again. Feels like you can get lost a little bit easier without actually being able to get lost fairly easily. And the bulk of the gameplay is actually a text game, but can't really do much here because we're not doing any interactions right now. I am going to put a debug in to make sure that it's firing. Debug.log test. And let's go ahead and plus layout index. Okay. Because that's what's really weird is the fact that it's not firing at all, it doesn't seem. I was expecting like really patchy. Oh, I'm sorry. Have you been on the stream before? It's entirely possible that you could have, and I've just been crazy for the past week and not remembered anything. I always feel bad whenever someone comes on the stream and I don't remember. Yeah, that's the cemetery is almost wrapped up. I'm doing a lot of texture work on it now. Yep, nope, nothing's fired. Oh wait, no, it is. Oh, okay. Well, it's firing, but am I stupid? No. Okay. So let's go to definition on player interzone. Ah, all right. I remember you, Gelmega. Oh, I don't know. Cupcake, I don't know if I want to talk about the game. It's not worth my time for new people, obviously. Um, no, I'm kidding. How are you, Lauren? Aren't you supposed to be streaming in like 12 minutes? Currently, we're working on a like level unloading, loading as you move along it, and it's not quite working yet. Although I do have the spawning working, sort of, but not really. At least we do know that it's firing. But I'm guessing that none of this is evaluating to true for some reason. I don't quite know why. Let me go ahead and put the debug in here. Debug.log. Spawn. And then plus wood index. And then do the same thing down below here. Except called despawn. Despawn. Okay. Oh, well, thank you for stopping by. I'm trying to think, when was the last time you stopped by and watched? Currently, I'm working on the woods level, which you might actually remember because that was from way back in the day when I first started working on Text Quest. I'm completely redoing it to make it way more interesting and feel like it's a lot larger and cooler and not nearly as boxed in. Okay. So we're getting the test fire. Oh, really? So it's firing, which means that we're getting here, but we're not getting to any of this. Oh, and also that's... I'm deeply confused. So these two things are mutually exclusive, which means that if one happens, the other should not happen or be happening. Watching streams so that I'm not constantly disappointing myself for 2 courses do retakes in August. Well, school can suck, Jamaica. I'm not gonna lie, it's kind of a drag. So I'll post a screen. Yeah. I'm working on the last couple of weeks. I've been working on the graveyard, which has been fun, but also nightmarish for the mausoleum because I was crazy when I modeled it. So texturing it sucked. Okay. I am going to let's try debug.log. And we're going to say should spawn and then should despawn. So I'm hopeful that I'll be finished up with the woods by the end of February. I'd like to have it finished up so I can show it off at GDC. Got to get that spider enemy in there again in the new combat system. Just love having that guy in there. I hate that he's out of the game again, just because I haven't had a chance to redo him. All right. Shazam. So let's see. Should spawn. Oh, jeez, staggering. Apparently everything should spawn. Well, that would be the problem. And I'm kind of frightened that it was just constantly loading in new stuff. Okay. Well, that's clearly not correct. So index of y, visible area. I guess I could flip these. Maybe I was doing it backwards. Because apparently I sometimes have difficulty with math, I guess. Oh no, it's going to launch the Unreal launcher. Yep, there it is, Epic. There we are. Okay. Oh, no, don't. It's not what you think. It's not like I'm showing it off in an official. Oh, well, there's like a fourth of it gone. I'm not showing it off in any official capacity. I'm just. Ah, wow, it really did not like that. Okay. But we do have stuff spawning in at least. I'm going on the train jam in Chicago, so I would like to be able to, show it off to the captive audience for 2 days and be like, play my game. Oh dear. Okay. Things are despawning and spawning in weird chunks. Not quite what I wanted. Failed because of extremely bad time schedule. Thing we needed to make before exams and hand in. Yeah, projects at the end of the semester can be pretty brutal. Let's see. I'm curious as to I'm going to get rid of the should spawn and should despawn. That should help lighten the load on those sort of hiccups. But yeah, no, I'm not like I don't have a booth or anything at GDC because that would be expensive. Oh no, PAX. I would like to do PAX, but it's so ludicrously expensive that I could not afford to do it. I could maybe do it once. I would have to be very certain that I was going to get really good results. Which actually, since you're going, you should scope things out and tell me if you think it's worth it. Because obviously there's a lot of foot traffic there, but it's just like weird. It's going in the opposite direction that I would expect. It's okay. But yeah, you should scope things out and tell me if you think that it would be cost effective to actually go there. I think I'm going. Oh dear, over the border. I might have these flipped, maybe. So maybe I should do J and I here for some weird reason. That I cannot believe that would be the case. This is super going to be weird. But, okay. For the one I already know, what I'll have to do is start on notification. Do at least 1 hour a week for it. What do you have to do for your makeup project? Definitely know what I think. No, it's a huge expense. Just getting myself there for personal reasons. Yeah, it's something crazy. Like it's I think it's several $1,000s for a booth. Even part of the indie mega booth. The entire idea for a lot of what indie developers do there, from what I've heard at least, is you actually... Oh, okay. Oh, that's like the invert of what I want. Hooray! Okay, so that's actually good. So I'm going to flip these one more time. Um, but yeah, it's just ludicrously expensive, and maybe it's more effective or more cost effective for people who are like they're used to California level prices. But yeah, it's just ludicrous for people in the Midwest who have to travel so far and spend so much money. Uh, for level editing, you need to make a level for Unreal Tournament. Oh, that's kind of cool. You have a specific mode that you have to do, like capture the flag or free for all. We're close. Darn it. So I can get the reverse effect, but not. Okay, well then fine. We'll just flip this logic again. So I'm gonna just do this basically. Hmm. And then I'm just gonna move these two. When in doubt, just flip things. Let's see what happens. Has to be 1v1. Let's see. Yeah, even my old team doesn't go to PAX because it's too expensive and there are only a few hours from Boston. Yeah, be crazy. Um. All right. Talk to you later, Lauren. Thanks for stopping by. Okay, this is going to work. Come on. I know you can do it. Yes! And if we move forward, ha 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 ha! Victory! I mean, yeah, the walls are going to be super wonky just because of what I was talking about. I'm not recycling them, but yes. Oh, the sort of. It looks like some chunks are a little bit larger than I was expecting. Like I don't quite. Oh man, I'm getting boxed in. Um. Still, ha ha ha! Kind of getting some hiccups though. Oh well. I should be able to at least optimize this. Now that it's actually somewhat working. Oh God, I'm just slowly gonna get walls everywhere. Um, hooray! I'm excited though that that sort of works. I don't know why it's sometimes not. Okay. Yeah, 1v1 can be challenging. It does mean that your map can be smaller though. I'm trying to think of a good 1v1 map that I've played in a FPS. Let's see. Oh, I guess actually because I want to do this, I want to flip this. There we go. I think that'll fix it. God, most of the 1v1 maps that I can think of are like sort of fighting games, not really first-person shooters. I can't think of anything. I feel like Halo had some maps that were generally better for like smaller teams. I'm sure Unreal would have one. Maybe even Quake had one. It's been a while, but I mean usually they're smaller, a little bit more intimate. Oh dear. Oh no. Ah. Okay. It started rogue spawning everything. You probably couldn't see it very quick or very much because I had to quickly press play to stop playing, but it was constantly trying to spawn things in, and or it was just trying to duplicate spawn everything. Oh, that's bad. Dang it, I'm really close to what I want it to do. It's just not. It's weird. It's like vaguely doing what I want. Okay, so I'm going to do this. Okay. And I think I'm going to flip these one more time and hope that... Okay. See if that works. Do you have any requirements for what has to be in the level besides the general concept of it being 1v1. Okay, let's clear that. And let's try this again. I'm curious if this is going to work. The answer is no, it didn't work. It did not. It didn't work. Did not work at all. That is somewhat weird and unexpected, and I don't like that it was doing that. Well, that didn't quite go the way I was expecting. So, what's really weird is it was the exact opposite of the map. The exact opposite, huh? Why? I'm gonna try something weird. Well, actually, I'm gonna try. I'm just gonna log what zone was entered. Need to use modular props, at least 20. Need an animated shader. That's what we can choose. Okay. So wait, do you need an animated shader or an animated texture on your models? I guess those are technically two different things. Although, well, could just be a matter of semantics. Okay. So I'm going to pause as soon as we start. Because it has to have said enter zone 08. Ah, yes. It unfortunately did do it like that, didn't it? Okay, an animated material. Yeah. That shouldn't be crazy difficult. I know that Unreal has several examples for animated materials. And obviously the easiest one to do for something like an Unreal mod would be flashing lights and such. All right. Well, thanks for stopping by, Joe Mega. I'll probably end the stream in a couple of minutes once I figure this out. So always good to talk to people. So, thanks for stopping by. Let's see. I'm really close. So I think what I want to do is say. Okay. I think I want to basically do this. I don't know if this is going to work correctly, but we will see. We're going to say size.y minus same thing here, except size.x and .x. Now the reason that I'm doing this is because it looks like it's sort of setting the index to be the reverse of what I expect, which is why it's on the opposite corner. So hopefully by doing it this way, it's going to be in the right spot. Okay, it looks like it is. We're not done yet. It's doing it backwards again. Okay, that didn't go well. Do I have any errors? No. So we have enter zone 0, 8. I'm going to get past the initial wave of despawns. Enter zone 2, 8, which would spawn. That would be correct. That would be correct. That would be correct. Basically, all of those would be right. But it. All right. Well, this is. I'm probably just going to end up banging my head against the keyboard for a little bit to get this figured out. I hate indexing things. Especially when you have two index numbers that you have to have right in the correct order. Okay. So yeah, that's a decent place to stop for the night. It's not quite perfect, but we can't all be, I suppose. So yeah, let me think. I'll be back Saturday doing another experimental Devstream. Don't know what I'm gonna do. I might mess around with. There's a cool shadow asset that I want to try out for this level in particular, because all of this has to be done with real-time lighting. So might try that out on Saturday. We'll see. That's going to do it for me tonight, though. So, as always, I want to thank you all very much for watching, and I will see you all next time.